the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week. And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. I am your host, Joshua, and today's question is: can AI really turn you into a relationship building superhero? Well, our guest for today might have the answer to that question exactly. Jason Tan, without any marketing professional help and budget, Jason and his team have grown Engage AI to become the number one AI commenting tool on LinkedIn with 60,000 users worldwide. And Jason, before we start getting into it, first of all, congratulations on that. Thank you for coming on to the show. How are you doing?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I love how that little action that you have got in that is such a setting the scene.
Precisely. It sets the pace, that we're getting into business, we're getting straight right into it, and we are getting started. And you, Jason, same way that you got started with Engage AI, I do want to get into that. But before we do, Jason, I always start the question or this show with this question, and I always ask, what is the story of Jason Tan? The second name of the show is quite literally story, right? And we love stories on this show. Jason, what led you, or was there anything, any pivotal experiences or pivotal moments in your life where led you to business, or led you to LinkedIn, right? But have you always
Absolutely.
known you were going to be business minded, or have you always known you were going to be into AI or LinkedIn? What is the story of Jason Tan?
Well, I am a first generation immigrant, came to Australia about 20 years ago
Wow.
and did my uni and then also did my corporate job as a data and AI system engineer. So
Wow.
I'm actually very much like your most of the engineer who were like, Josh, I don't want to deal with people. You go and deal with the people. Just let me focus on my screen and get the system up and running and write you a beautiful code. So that was your Jason 10 actually for a good long period of time. Your typical engineer, introvert, keep the head down,
Mhm.
get the things done type. And after I did that a couple of years, I started venturing into business and some
Interesting.
success, some failure. But last couple of years, I actually start working on my own consulting company, which is about building and providing the data solution, AI solution, and consulting to the enterprise. And one thing that I realized in the early days is that
Mhm.
I need to get business outside my own network.
Oh, okay.
But that's hard because
Mhm. Mhm.
B2B professional services
Mhm.
really comes down to building the right relationship with the right decision maker with the enterprise and some of the
Of
government
course.
agency.
Of course.
So that was really challenging and
Mhm.
really put me on the spot in a way that I have totally have to reinvent myself. Where I was like, you know what, Josh, I have to be active on LinkedIn. I have to
Mhm.
go out and talk to people. I have to
Mhm.
go having coffee,
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
And I have to really put aside my engineering side of
Yes.
me
Yes.
and be more like a marketing, more like a sales, or I call them more like a business person, right?
Yes. Of course.
One thing that I started focusing on was LinkedIn. In the early
Mhm.
days, I still remember that it
Mhm.
probably took me 2 hours to write
Whoa.
a single post because
Yeah.
it's like, an engineer of you is like, oh, is
Mhm.
it good enough? Is that not good enough? Maybe about 15 minutes to write that comment to be
Mhm.
sure and then double checking to be sure that, I don't look like an idiot, I don't offend someone, grammarly correct, all those sort of things.
Mhm.
So transforming, and I can really understand the challenges that a lot of the technical professional, like whether you are accountant, you are a HR professional, you are a
Mhm.
finance professional, or
Mhm.
technology professional like myself,
Mhm.
a lot of these people who go into starting their own businesses in providing the professional services,
Yes.
the the journey of transforming themselves, being a technical to more of a sales and a business person, is what inspired me to start Engage AI.
Interesting.
So, so that was like more of the story in terms of the why and the vision and the reason why I start Engage AI
Exactly.
in terms of the company. But
Mhm.
the technique and the strategy that we employ at Engage AI equally is more of an experience as well. Is that
Exactly. Mhm.
um, obviously when you are trying to build your network, also try to bring in business, you have
Of
multiple
course.
channels.
Yes.
LinkedIn was a really good channel, especially
Mhm.
during the COVID time.
Mhm.
And one thing that I also learned very early is
Mhm.
rather than connecting to a complete stranger and then
Okay.
try to message them,
Okay.
which never really worked, I
Mhm.
realized and I noticed that if I engage with them whenever they post, and if I do
Interesting.
it consistently,
Mhm.
it was a lot easier for me to get their attention.
Interesting.
It was a lot for me to connect with them and then subsequently moving the conversation from that public space into a private space so that
Interesting.
we then start a conversation
Mhm.
before I try to sell them anything. From there, I get to know them as a person, get to know a bit about their business. Then I would then find opportunity to see if we can have a meeting and also talk about what I can do for them. All in all, it was those two things that
Mhm.
prompt me to start Engage AI,
Mhm.
where the why is about transforming the technical professional into a salesperson. And likewise, from the technical perspective, how do we turn the AI, the technology, into what we do at Engage AI these days? So
That
that
is
was the story of mine.
that is quite interesting, and of course, it's the way you put it together is also quite fascinating. Because first of all, you said you're the typical engineer, developer. I don't want to talk to people, right? It's so very typical.
Correct.
But you have now found that bridge. You bridge that gap for any developer now, any engineer. Actually, let's even say that any career right now, you need to be a solopreneur, right? Whichever
Yeah,
you're undertaking, whichever path that you're taking, you need to be able to sell yourself. More than that, you need to
correct.
be able to network yourself first and foremost. If you can't do that, you are going to be left behind especially with
Exactly.
how businesses are made right now. And it's very interesting how you turned that, you know, you're turning the introverts into extroverts, so to speak, right? In Engage AI. That is quite interesting. Jason, I want to dig into that a little bit more. But you also
Mm,
mentioned one thing that stands out to me is that commenting. This is a little bit more of a small tangent, but the normal again, the normal process is you connect with them, you chat them right away, talk to them a little bit, and then boom, you try messaging them, right? But you mentioned that you engage with them first. You comment on their post, which is kind of like a nurturing aspect of nurturing the leads, but that usually comes after talking, after chatting. Now, talk to us a
yeah.
little bit about why commenting is more effective first to engage, but also how many times should be commenting before you start talking to them?
That is a really good question.
Hmm.
Now, there is no rule saying that we can't comment and engage with them when they post before
Interesting.
we get to know them. The
Okay.
reality is that anyone who posts on social media, they all enjoy engagement. They all
Yes.
enjoy the conversation to dive deeper about
Mhm,
the topic that they post, right?
mhm, mhm,
So you also, if you think about the likelihood or the probability of getting connected
mhm.
with a cold stranger, it's like I walk up to you and your typical connection request message is like, "Hey, just saw you on LinkedIn. I love to connect with you. Can we please connect?" It's like Josh is like, "Who the hell is this Jason? He just walked up to me. I have never seen him before." And
Right.
I got so much to do. I got 10 podcast interview this week. I need so much editing. I don't have
Mhm.
time for that.
Yes, of course.
But whereas is like uh, in all your podcasts, presumably you probably also post on YouTube, and I know you post on LinkedIn
Yes.
as well. Is that
Mhm,
before I come out and connect with you, I have been commenting and engaging with you,
mhm,
and I walk
mhm,
up to you, George. Really enjoy all the podcasts you have been doing, especially the one that published 2 weeks ago
mhm,
about the
mhm,
AI. Would
mhm.
love to connect if you don't mind. You see some familiarity of me
Of
already
course.
because I have been engaging with you.
Yes, yes.
And the chances that you will connect with me is like, oh yeah, I think I don't know Jason Ten, but from memory, I'm pretty sure he has been engaging with me a lot of time when I post. You were like,
Interesting.
yeah, I would accept the connection request. The chances will increase at least by double.
Okay, okay, okay. So now you've established that connection. And
Correct.
first of all, it's funny how you said like you don't just come up with someone like, "Hey, I love your thing. I love what you do. Can we please connect? Let's get connected." No one does that in real life. So what sort of skills
Exactly.
of doing that on LinkedIn? What is there, why do that in virtual space? Of course, no one feels comfortable about that, right? Or right from the
Mm,
get go, it feels like who is this guy, right? But now,
mm,
like you said, you really have caught our attention. With the commenting, it is easier to get connected because now you have a topic to talk about. Um,
exactly.
Jason, talk to us a little bit about your experience this time because you said you were trying to go you went from this introverted engineer doesn't want to talk to anyone, but now you could have fooled me, by the way. I can barely see that right now. It feels like you've been a marketing expert now for a while, and you're quite engaging, and you're quite well versed with networking. How did that feel, first of all, personally, but also on the business side? How did you navigate the challenge of growing Engage AI to 60,000 users, to bringing that to 60,000 users, maybe 60,000 introverted users, maybe? On the personal side, how did that feel? And on the business side, what were the biggest challenges you had to overcome?
Absolutely. It's funny that when I was sharing this to a group just about 2 weeks ago, and they all were commenting that this is like a introvert sales too. I thought that was pretty
Really?
funny.
That's interesting. So I'm not the only one who says that.
I can totally relate to that. And it's my view is that if I can help more technical professional to be a better
Mhm,
business person and salesperson,
mhm,
I think that would be really make my day. I think that would probably be the legacy that I want to leave with this world. But on your question about how do I feel, well, definitely took me a really, really long time to understand, to learn all the skills, or in fact, even just to speak to you in
mhm.
such a way, it took me a long time. And I can assure you, or anyone who is listening, is that it is a journey that worthwhile taking. It is a
Right.
skill that is definitely worthwhile picking out. Whether you
Mhm,
are going to quit your corporate job at the Fortune 500 to start your own business, or even if you want to continue to climb up in the corporate ladder,
mhm,
you
mhm.
need all of these people skill, the
Yes.
person.
Yes.
networking
I agree.
skills, selling, all of these, the
Mhm,
marketing. You need
mhm,
all of those as you continue to climb up. So
mhm.
what that means for me personally, experience wise, is that it just make my life, my business a lot more rich, a lot more easier.
Yes.
I
Yes.
know how to talk to people. I understand what
Mhm,
to talk to people.
mhm.
And business wise, equally, it make it easier for me to struck up the partnership with people. It make it
Yes, of
easier for
course.
me to close deal with people. And all in
Mhm,
all, part of that has led it to allow us to build the Engage AI to have 60,000 people. Some of them is because of the various type of the partnership that we have got. But more importantly is we understand a couple of things that really, really tick with people. Number one, we started on LinkedIn and the market
Yes.
positioning was very, very clear that when we
Mhm,
first started, is that we knew at that time there were so many AI writing tools already, and we did not
mhm.
want to be one of them. And we
Yes.
decided to do one thing and one thing only, which is AI commenting tool on LinkedIn. So because of that, the market positioning is so clear and so easy
Mhm.
for people to grasp. And we were the first
Yes.
one in the market. So as a result of that, you see a lot of influencer whenever they talk about top 10 AI tools, top 10 AI
Mhm,
Chrome extension you should know about. We are
mhm.
often included in there. So lots of word of mouth, lots of
Yes.
organic, and then
Mhm.
we amplify it with the affiliate marketing. And then the
Yes.
engineer of me hasn't quite died yet. So lots of
Really?
the
Of
things that
course.
we focus on in the early day was
Mhm,
integration to other CRM and other products. So we
yes, of course.
integrated with Zapier, we integrated with HubSpot, we integrated with Hootsuite, we integrate
Mhm,
with Zoho. Why that is the case? Because if you think about a lot of the SMB business owner, they a lot of time they already have a CRM as well. They already
yes.
manage their lead and client over there. What we are saying
Yes.
is if you connect it and have us integrated, we then can go and collect all your leads from all your
Mhm,
CRM, bring
mhm,
into Engage AI. Now, what
mhm.
that means is that it bring up another, it address one of the issues that we are solving for the LinkedIn user. We're solving for the SMB owner, which is a lot of those busy SMB owner, whenever they log on to LinkedIn, they
Mhm.
have to scroll endlessly.
Endlessly. Endlessly.
Endlessly. They have like
Mhm,
probably 2 to 5,000. Some of them have 10
mhm,
or 20,000 connection or follower. But the
mhm.
truth is, if you think about the SMB owner provide the professional services, 20 client will make them really, really, really good money and a good
Mhm.
life already.
Right.
Equally, what that means is at any given time, they only need to prospect between 50 to 100 or 150 people
Interesting.
because a
Interesting.
single client with a single consultant could easily make them 100 to $250,000, right? So
Yes. Mhm,
but as they go to LinkedIn, trying to prospect, try to stay in touch with
mhm.
client, they can't get the job done. They have to scroll
Of course.
endlessly. So what we are
Mhm,
saying is, well, if you tell us exactly who these people are,
mhm.
every single day we will go and check their LinkedIn profile and see they
Mhm.
have posted or not. And if they do, we'll bring all of their latest posts and their latest content into a single web page within our web application. And you can easily
Interesting.
from there, you just decide who to engage, who not to engage, and you can see in a bird eye view exactly who of these people are. So that is really the second part that we address for people on top of using AI to help with the comment for
Mhm.
the all of these SMB owners. So that is really the experience and how we have grown. Coming back to sorry, I got distracted. So with that
Yeah.
engineer of me hasn't quite died
Mhm.
yet. So because of all of those integration, um, we got mentioned even by Zapier as one of the top 10 AI tool
Interesting.
on their platform.
Interesting.
And then all of those just compile by itself. So yeah, that's how we
I
grown
love
to
it.
have 60,000 people.
I love it. I love it, Jason. First of all, you dubbed Engage AI as a second brain for
Yeah.
SMB owners, and it's very, very apparent in how you did that. It's very clear how you navigated that challenge and that being part of that second brain and niching down really in such a crowded space, but you found yourself a space that is quite your own, which is very focused on AI commenting, but also at the same time, you don't offer CRM because most of these services they offer their own CRM, but now you bridge that gap. Real quick question, Jason: does it work the same way, the other way around? Right? Does it work? You say that you take data from the CRM. Does Engage AI also provide the data the other way around? And does it
Yes,
work with ClickUp?
it does. Depending on the CRM that
Right.
and their configuration, the system.
Hmm.
Some CRM allow us to send the data back to them, and some
Yes.
of them they don't necessarily allow us
Yes.
to send data back to them. So which means
Of
if
course.
they
That
are
makes
on
sense.
CRM where we can send the data back, they will actually be able to see everything within their CRM as well.
Hmm.
But for
Hmm.
certain CRM, it doesn't. We haven't integrated with ClickUp yet, as we are
Hmm.
busy working on a few other things. But
Yes.
it's certainly on the backlog.
Yes. Well, I love that ClickUp. Of course, you are a developer again yourself, an engineer yourself, so I'm sure you know ClickUp as well. As I'm a huge fan of it. We use it for our CRM as well. Not really a CRM, but it can be used as one,
Yeah.
and it also has its many benefits as well. But um, diving deeper into Engage AI, we're trying to approach, or really approaching this future, or better yet the future truly is now when it comes to AI, right? How do you think AI in general can transform the way we build and maintain relationships, both professional and personally? I understand that one of the things that you said is do not fear AI, make it work for you. But it's such a common thing, right? What advice would you give to people who think that AI will work against them, whereas in your case, you say that AI can actually build relationships? What would you say to them?
Number one, AI is real,
Hmm.
especially compared to blockchain or crypto or DeFi. You could see that the entire world is actually creating and building things, a real thing. Whether it's good or not is a different story, and I don't want to debate on
Yes,
that.
of course.
But you could really
Hmm.
see that over the last 1.5 or 2 years, there are people at every different level, from a solo developer to a startup to a scale up to a giant unicorn to the way to the enterprise. Everyone is building Engage AI into their product. That is for
Wow.
real, as opposed
Hmm.
to blockchain DeFi, where it was like not quite there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So that's
exactly. I
one.
get what you mean.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so it's real. So we just
Hmm.
have, whether we like it or not, we have to
Hmm.
embrace it. It is
Hmm.
also uh, another fundamental shift in the platform as well. This actually is
Right.
very possible, will change the way that we build software and we use software and we engage software. What I mean by that is
Wow.
the way that we use the software is like we click, we follow exactly the configure workflow by the programmer, by the company,
Hmm.
and then
Hmm.
we click, enter information, do everything. Whereas generative AI and this AI allow us to use software like as we are talking to a person.
Of course.
That is going to start really, really changing, and it's going to becoming
Hmm.
more and more real, right? So that is the second
Hmm.
point. Now, to the point, I want to dive in deeper how AI allow people to build relationship. And I categorize that into two ways. The very first
Interesting.
one is what we are already doing, which is using the AI, a classic example, which is using the AI for commenting or how people use
Yes.
AI to write email. So,
Mm-hmm.
like it or not, there are people who are already really good in writing email, who are really a
Mm-hmm.
natural conversationalist. They are your
Of
typical
course.
marketer and salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
AI may not necessarily work for them to write messages or to write email or to write comment. But on the
Mm-hmm.
other side, there is 50% of the world is not quite wired like this,
Right. Interesting. Of course.
where knowing how to talk, knowing how to write an email really well, knowing how to put the sentence that will make people to take action
Mm-hmm.
is simply not natural and their
Of
core
course not.
strength
Yes.
to
Yeah.
the people like myself.
Mm-hmm.
AI can help with them. That is
Interesting.
really the first part in terms of using
Wow.
AI to
Interesting.
build a relationship. So if we think about that group of people, the first thing they can
Mm-hmm.
do is how they can actually use AI. And they can, after they get the ChatGPT or Engage AI or any other tool to
Of
write for
course.
them, they can always update it to add their authenticity and their personal voice, right? So that is really the first part. Now the second
Mm-hmm.
part is what
Please.
we are currently doing is
Mm-hmm.
going to change the way that how we communicate as well. Is that if you think
Mm-hmm.
about we human, whether we we are building relationship, the relationship we have with our family, with our friend, with our colleague, a lot of time to build and to foster that strong connection
Right.
is really about remembering what they have told us
Of course.
and to
Of course.
remember what is important for them
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
to
Wow.
remember what are their like, their dislike, and what they have
Right.
asked us or what they have shared with us. And we often
Interesting.
have to rely on our memory to
Mm-hmm.
remember them. So, like for example,
Interesting.
I first met Josh
Mm-hmm.
over this podcast interview. As
Mm-hmm.
our relationship mature, we will probably talk in different channel by email, by LinkedIn messages, and maybe one day when we close enough, we will probably start exchanging messages in WhatsApp or messages.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that create a new challenge that our parents' generation doesn't have, which is our
Yeah.
conversation is now fragmented in so many different channels.
Yes. Yes.
One of the things that people don't talk about, especially if they are at the surface level, is that AI is actually really, really good in searching and retrieving unstructured information.
Of course.
So the second thing
Of
that I'm
course.
trying to say that AI can help, which is something that we are working on, is how can we use AI to search and retrieve all of this private information that we have shared with each other over
Mm-hmm.
email, over Zoom, over
Oh,
LinkedIn
of course.
messages, over WhatsApp,
Oh my goodness.
over
Yes.
Slack, and and we can use them to build
Mm-hmm.
relationships. So that, say, for example,
Of course.
before as I am meeting you in Philippines, finally for the first
Mm-hmm.
time, as I am waiting for
Mm-hmm.
you at the cafe, I can order your favorite
Mm-hmm.
coffee before you
Of
arrive.
course. Fascinating.
That is really, I think,
Mm.
the key of building
Mm-hmm.
relationship. But more importantly, that is really the most interesting part what AI could potentially do for us to build a
That's true.
relationship.
It's true, and it's quite powerful too, right? Because we I think we tend to, especially with the younger generation
Mm,
now, right? But we are millennials, and we do find that kind of like we did experience that somehow as well. We experienced a transition between, from going through, how you say this, written communication, the challenges that our parents didn't have previously. I love that concept. I love how you presented it, because now we're overwhelmed with channels.
correct.
You're being rejected on different channels,
Correct.
whether it's business, whether it's relationship. You got rejected on email. You
Correct.
got dumped on Instagram. You got you got ghosted on LinkedIn.
Correct.
It's overwhelming.
It is.
But with AI, it's very quite powerful to not only be able to consolidate all those channels, but also help you retain memory, help you retain the meaningful conversations. Often there's a negative connotation, right? There's a negative notion behind using technology. If you really, really understand the person, or if you're really intimate and you're really into the person, you don't need a machine to help you make sense out of it, right? If you're really, it's like, it's not, it's human. It's human to forget. It's human with everything, all the information that
Mm,
being fed to us, that we're taking in every day. We cannot possibly remember all of them, no matter how we feel, how strongly we feel about that person.
exactly.
That's just nature. That's just what's happening right now. And it is happening literally right now. And the future is here. The future is now with AI. So why not let it work for you?
Exactly.
Jason, I absolutely love that concept. Thank you for sharing that insight with us today. I do have one last thing to ask you as we wrap this up. What is the future like for Jason Tan? How do you see yourself in this space, Jason? How do you see yourself in the AI space, in LinkedIn? How do you see Engage AI growing and growing? But also, are there any future personal aspirations that Jason Tan would like to undertake in the coming future? What is
Absolutely.
the
Well,
future of
from
Jason
the
Tan?
company perspective and the product perspective, Engage AI will grow and extend outside of LinkedIn as we start to connect to other
Mhm.
digital channels like your email, your Slack, your chat application, so people can
Mhm.
easily do a unified search, a single search across all the channel, and really they can search and retrieve
Interesting.
that private and critical information. That is the where
Mhm.
we are heading for the company perspective. Personally, I
Mhm.
am working very hard every day with our engineer and the marketer
Of
to
course, yeah.
really
Mhm.
transform that product. I really would say that is really
Mhm.
the two things that I am doing. And if I really would say is, sometimes I feel sorry. So often I feel sorry that I have worked with so many talented technical professionals, whether they are
Mhm.
actuaries, mathematician,
Mhm.
programmer,
Mhm.
accountant. They
Mhm.
are really smart, but they often
Yes.
get overlooked for promotion. I
Interesting.
have worked with
Interesting.
some really smart SMB owner who are a top notch in
Mhm.
terms of the services that they provide. But again, they get
Interesting.
overlooked in being
Mhm.
selected to provide the services. And all in
Interesting.
all, is really not because they don't have the technical skill set, because they are really one of the best I have seen, but rather it's more about the sales side, the business relationship,
Yes.
networking, and building relationship with people and convincing people to buy from them is what make them
Mhm.
losing. If I can make
That is
more
very
of these
true.
people shine, I will be a
Mhm.
happy man.
That's fantastic. And of course, you would like to share the same success because you yourself have found success in the same kind of transformation. And it shows in what you do, it shows in how you talk to us today, Jason. It shows in how you've shared your insight and your stories today. Thank you so much for that, Jason. Before I truly let you go, where are you most active in? Where can we find you? Are you on Instagram? Of course, you are active on LinkedIn the most. Where can we find out more about
Well,
Jason?
I am most active on LinkedIn. If you search Jason 10, you can find me there. Or otherwise, find us on our website at engage, ENGAGE dash AI.co, engage dash AI.co. Or otherwise, type engage AI on
All right.
Google search. Google will bring you to us.
Absolutely. And I'm already on there. I'm already checking out the website constantly ever since we started talking. Jason, it has been a great time. It has been very insightful. I love your energy. I love what you've done with Engage AI, but also not just for yourself. Again, the transformation that you've gone through and what you're helping others to do. Thank you for sharing us with us today on this
Thank you
show.
for having me again, Josh.
Fantastic. And to all our audience and listeners out there, see you on the next one.
All right, so here's the thing, we try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.